Hello everyone, and welcome to Amateur Hour Projects. Today, we're going to look at Metal Earth's TARDIS. Now, the TARDIS is the spaceship of the titular character of Doctor Who. A little bit of flavor text down here. TARDIS, Time and Relative Dimension in Space, is a product of the advanced technology of the Time Lords. A properly maintained and piloted TARDIS can transport its occupants to any point in space and time. The interior of a TARDIS is much larger than its exterior. We'll find out that here today. So we don't need to worry too much about the instructions here. It's pretty simple. It'll also tell you in the instructions inside. And we'll kind of go over that a little bit as we go through. The difficulty is a 5 out of 10. So a good mid-range project here for us to do. Not too difficult, not too hard. The QR code here can be scanned to see a full 360 view of the model beforehand to kind of get you an idea of what it looks like. And we're not going to need very many tools here today. Nothing to weld it together or glue or anything like that. It all just kind of comes together. So let's go ahead and open it up, see what we have inside. Alright, just make sure nothing else is inside there. So we have our instructions, which we'll be looking at that. And then we have what looks like to be 2 plates. Alright, everything looks like it's good to go. So let's go ahead and unfold the instructions here. And we'll kind of take a look at what it looks like. So it gives a little bit of instructions and the legend of how to do it, what tools you'll need, usually, which we have the standard kit that Metal Earth sells. Comes with all 3 clippers to remove the metal from the sheets, and then thinner pliers and thicker pliers to help grab, and a little coding of how to find the parts in the metal sheets. Alright, so what we say we go ahead and get this started. We're going to go ahead and leave our sheets here out of the way, and you can see that they have a clear side and a colored side. Also, some detail on some of the pieces that will help us identify what we need, what we're looking for. So first things first, we want to find number 1, which, according to the sheets, is this little piece right here. So we'll go ahead and take our clips. And I like to go from the back, just personal preference, but you find the little divot that it's connected to. Make sure you line up and clip. Clip. There we go. And as we can tell, huge piece here. So what we need to do is we need to fold these little pieces down here on the side, fold them flat. We have little perforations to help us do so. I like to go ahead and take this bad boy and fold, 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 fold. All right, we'll go ahead and set that aside for now. We need to find number 2, which looks to be like this piece. Once again, once you find your piece, personal preference, like to go from the back. Clip, clip. All right, so what we need to do is we need to twist this into a cylinder. The easiest way to do that is to do little tiny bends as you go. Now, I am by no means an expert of any type, so I usually take liberties while I'm doing it. Usually when I get to the end, I'll just kind of make it work. And it's okay to have little mistakes as you go, especially if you're new and you're learning. And I've only done a couple of these projects before, personally, so I'm not the best, but I do like to have a little fun and figure it out as I go. So if yours doesn't look perfect, no worries. Mine's not going to look perfect. Alright. So I would say, after kind of squishing it into place, the ends connect. I would say, for my purposes, that's good enough. And it wants us to connect to this piece. Now there's two little divots that the prongs slide into. There we go. And then there are a couple of different ways of securing these pieces. This piece, it wants you to twist the little tabs. So I'll see if I'm able to do that. It's hard to grab them in here. Twist. And twist. Alright, there we go. We have our first two pieces. Now again, don't get too hung up if it looks wonky or misshapen. You can always make little adjustments as you go, trying to do your best to straighten it out or curve it up a bit more. And as long as you're happy with it, that's all that really matters. Alright, I think we're ready for piece number 3, which is one of these little flower pieces. Alright, clip, clip. Alright, so, because this piece is going to fold upwards, and it's going to show this blue side, we want to put this side upside down. And push that in there. Okay. And then it wants us to fold these pieces down. Fold. And fold. Perfect. So, now we want to fold these little petals up. Until they meet. And it looks like they're going to be folded over quite a ways as they meet towards the center. Fold. Fold. As you can see, I'm just making adjustments as I go. Alright, so we need to fold it down a little bit more, each petal. Okay, There we go. Now I had to make several little adjustments to it until it looked right to me. But as of right now, this little piece looks good enough for me. I can always put the side I don't want facing out to the back. So I'll go ahead and go on to the next step. So we're looking for number 4 here. It's going to be this piece. Alright. And clip, clip, clip. So this piece looks like... Oh, it's going to be fun. So it looks like we're going to need to put this little spot in there while bending everything else down. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to that. So it wants us to bend it very slightly. And that looks to be as bent as it's gonna go. And again, you can always make little adjustments as you go. Alright. And then fold. 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 See, I did that in kind of a backwards order. I'm gonna unfold this side as gingerly as I can. Fold this side down. Then, in theory here, I can just take this and fold this right into the clip. There we go. Now I've made little bends and folds in this, and it's a little bit not straight. I can just try to straighten that out a bit. There we go. And then we want to fold this side down. Perfect. Excellent. Good job, team. It's a team effort. You helped. Now we're going to go ahead and add this little piece. And it wants us to twist these pieces so they stay together. Go ahead and do that. Twist, 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 twist. Here we go. Moving on. We are looking for number 5, which is going to be this piece. Now, this piece is going to release some of the other pieces here, but we'll just set them aside. All right, and clip, 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 clip. All right, and let's go ahead and put this topper on before we fold. And they should just slide into each of the little crannies there. Don't be afraid if you have to physically make something go in. It's thin metal, so it's malleable. Move it about. And it wants us to twist these as well. Make sure that they are in all the way before you twist or fold, so that they stay together. There we go. And then it wants us to fold these pieces down. Alright, now it looks like some of the metal has kind of folded a bit while it was doing that. You just always go in and make your own adjustments. And looks like I'm also folding these little tabs down. That's fine too. It's not going to ruin the model. In fact, it's a little bit more secure that way. Looking good. Alright, so go ahead and set that aside for now. We can move on to the next side. Alright, so step 6 is going to require this piece right in here. So let's go ahead and flip it over. And geometry is a little complicated on this one, so we got to make sure to be careful. Clip, clip, clip. Flip. Alright. Looks like we want to go ahead and fold this part down. Alright. Make sure it's flat on this side. Again, don't be afraid to go back and just kind of double check and make sure. No harm in checking your work now. All right, so this last side gave me a little bit of trouble, but I made sure it was just as folded and as flat as I possibly can with the other sides. And it wants us to fold these little side pieces inward. There we go. Now we want to go ahead and put in all the police box signs. So go ahead and do that. Clip, 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 clip. There we go. Now you may see that we have an extra piece here. Sometimes they add an extra piece for parts that are difficult, can sometimes get broken or very tiny, usually to fill up the space. So here we go. We have got these police box signs that we need to add here. So that means that I've got to go through and fold in all these little tabs so that they can connect to it. And hopefully do it properly without messing anything up. There we go. Now you may see that I kind of struggled a little bit with that. It's not very easy to very delicately bend these tiny metal pieces. If any of you have any suggestions or tips for me out there, I'd greatly appreciate it. Or just tell me that I'm terrible at this. It's fine. It's all amateur. Not expecting greatness here. And neither should you, frankly. We're just here to have fun. Alright, time to put these police box signs in the immaculately bent metal frames. Let's see here. Alright, 1 and 2. Whoop. 1. And they want to twist these. I think it'd just be easier to fold it down inward. Or fold it up in this case. There we go. And one is completed. Looks a bit wonky, but did my best. Just gotta keep working down the line. All right, there we go. Looks terrible. Let's move on. As you can tell, I made small adjustments there as I was going through. I think maybe twisting it was the better idea. But let's go ahead and put the top on this. I've made little scrapes and cuts through most of this as I'm going, but I'm not here to impress anybody. These little tabs. Make sure that you work them in there gently. Could be that I messed up my proportions a little bit, which is fine. Just to help me out, I'm going to tighten a few of them so they don't come out. I'm able to put the other ones in without any issue. Boom, boom. There we go. All right, and we have the top done. Looks all right. Now we have number 8. These little tiny pieces. They're going to go around the corners. Let's go ahead and clip them off. Alright, so each of these little tiny pieces needs to be folded into a little corner. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. That's 4 little corners taken care of. So now we need to go ahead and set them on here. So we go right here. Yep. Stick right on in. Make adjustments as you need. It says to twist these. I'm going to go ahead and listen to them this time. Alright, we can always keep bending to make sure it's correct. On to the next one. Pop right on in there. There we go. 4 corners. Roughly attached. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the main body. I'm going to grab number 9. So this bad boy right here. Clip, clip, clip. Alright, lots of detail here, but we're going to make sure that we bend it as straight as we can. Maybe should have used the longer pliers for this one. Yep, gonna use the longer pliers for this one. And just make sure that it's cornered. we go. Next step. This piece right here. Clip. 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 So we want to fold it in half. This in half as well, at a 90-degree angle, not half. Just a little harder. Don't be afraid, you can always straighten it back out. Same with this piece right here. There we go. And that is perfect. Alright, so this goes here. Perhaps I need to widen it out a little bit. There we go. And then clips in there, clips in there. Beautiful. Wishes for us to close these down. Make them nice and secure. There we go. One corner done. On to the next one. Clip, clip, clip. And same thing we just did there. Let's see if I bend these pieces first. Is it any better? No. Looks like I might need to get longer, flatter pliers. It's okay, we'll make do. Go and next piece. go. Goes right here. And that slotted in there quite nicely. Just fold these little tabs in. There we go. 2 of 4 sides done. On to the next. Clip, 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 clip. And we're going to do the same thing for these two on the back corners. All right, there we go. As you can tell, I had to kind of bend the corners apart there a little bit to make sure it fit. And this looks like it is. Let's say pretty good. Excellent. All right, moving on to the doors. Need number 13 here. Clip, clip, clip. All right. Let's go ahead and fold these pieces in. So only far too late have I noticed that these little pieces are cut up, which would have made those corner pieces a little easier. But live and learn. There we go. Rotten. looks like they want us to make this end piece into a circle, and as we know, I'm a master at that. We could tell earlier. So doing this freehand is a lot more difficult than using specialized tools, but we'll go ahead and do what we can here. Luckily, this piece is perforated to make it easier to bend. And we'll just do little tiny bends until we get it as cone-shaped, maybe cylinder-shaped as possible. Alright, and see if this sort of works. Alright, some adjustment is needed, but go ahead and make that. May need to undo it a little bit. Which is fine. Don't feel like you failed if something doesn't look right. Just take it as a learning opportunity and try again. I think this end needs to be curved a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to call that as good enough. We may need to adjust it later because it looks like it goes into these little slots, I think. So we may need to make it a little smaller. Need to tighten it up a bit. We'll find out when that time comes. That is going to be that. Then we have a little tiny handle to do. Very careful with these tiny pieces. It could be easy to just accidentally clip it wrong. Alright, so this one's pretty simple. It just folds completely on itself. Like this. Crunch, crunch, crunch. There we go. On to the blue spots. This. And then once again, it wants us to fold or twist these. Excuse me. Alright, that's one door down. On to the next. Clip, clip, clip. And same with this door, only in reverse. Alright, and that cone went a little bit better. Hopefully. Now another door knob, handle. Clip. 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 Whoa. And clip. There we go. Magic. Ah. And finally, twist. Twist. There we go. Neat little doors. Number 16. Clip, 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 clip. All right, so this one, we want to make several small adjustments to the main body, and then the bigger piece. Just fold that down a little bit, kind of straighten it up a bit. And then this piece goes down. Let's see if I can do that on the other side. I've already folded it too much, so just make an adjustment. There's nothing wrong with having to make several tiny adjustments. And final side here. Tiny adjustments. Whole thing. Make sure it's all straight as I go. Straight as I possibly can. There we go. There we go. One platform. We'll go ahead and put the walls on. Ah, nice little fit. Go ahead and twist those like they ask. Twist. 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 There we go. And it wants us to slide these down into those holes if I can. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to need to make a little adjustment to this as it is not small enough or cylindrical enough, most likely, to fit in there all the way. There we go. Give it a try this time. Oh, now it's not cylindrical enough and I am bending the door. Let's try again here. One more try. There we go. Next one. Nope. Not small enough. Cylindrical maybe, just not small enough. Maybe that. And again, I'm bending the doors. All right, both are in. Both doors are in. Let me put that aside very gently. Very, very gently. We'll fix that later. All right, now we need one of these pieces, which let's have its little pieces clipped off and clip, and then this piece, clip, clip. Bend these little pieces up. This piece together like this. And flatten it out. As best as we can. We'll flatten that out. There we go. Looks like we need the other 17. Flip, flip. Same thing here. Fold these pieces up. Hold it down. Grab number 19 here. Hook. Hook. Same thing. Hold this up. Hold this up. And we're going to put this in here. And this one in here. down. Not sure why this piece wasn't just its own piece, but I think it was spacing. I didn't want to have to make a whole new sheet just for one tiny part. And we have folded that in the wrong direction. Completely dropped. And we have it back. You know what? It's folded. That's good enough. Now, it's time to put this on here. And yes, it does need to go upside down like this. See if we can rein these doors in first. Hello. Did I not? Oh. That should be fine. All should be fine. All is well. Slide that back in there. We'll just slide the door back in there. There we go. It wants us to twist these gladly. Twist. Twist. And twist. Aha! The doors work. Very neat. Now all that's left is to find the prettiest side. Probably... This side? No. You know what? Executive decision. We'll just say it's this side. And we will put this in here. Many things to line it up with as we go. It doesn't quite line up. Just make more adjustments. Well, as it turns out, it looks like I've picked the right side to begin with, since there's only one side with the little tabs for the front. So we'll just call that in the famous words of Bob Ross, a happy little accident. Now it's time to flatten all these little nubs. Quite make it in. Right. Make a little adjustment. Perfect. These nubs down as well. And there we go. Close this door. Haha. Ah. And there we go. One police box TARDIS. Ooh. Close that one more time. And there we have it. It's not perfect, but it is mine, and it is my amateur craft. So, if you guys enjoyed that, tell me, leave a like, or not, whatever. If you have any recommendations or tips or anything like that for me, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. If you feel like you could have done better, go ahead and tell me that as well. But we're not looking for perfection, just looking for completion. And so that's my seal of approval. All right, thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a wonderful day.